Welcome to Ask and Learn.
Okay, you're asked to sketch the graph by hand using asymptotes and intercepts, but not derivatives. And then use your sketch as a guide to producing graphs with the graphing device that display major features of the curve. Okay, so, we're looking at this. I'm looking at this rational function. Let's start with the roots or the zeros of the rational function. That's where the numerator is going to be equal to 0. And over here, we have that this will be negative 3/2. That's what makes this factor 2x plus 3 equals 0, is negative 3/2. So we have a double root there, and that's because it's a squared. Here we have a root at 2, but because this is an odd power, it's going to go through the x-axis. Here it's an even power. It's going to go down. It's going to touch the x-axis and go right back on up. So at negative 3/2, the graph's going to come down, hit the x-axis, and go back up. Here, it's just going to come up, go through 2, and keep going. Okay. Now we do have some asymptotes. We have an asymptote at 0 and an asymptote at 5. So I'm drawing this, and I left in the dots. So, for example, a negative 3/2 or a negative 1.5, notice the graph comes down, it hits the x-axis, and goes back up. That's because there's a double root there. My y-axis serves as an asymptote, so you can see this as this comes down and goes back up, it's going to get really close to that y-axis but not cross it. And then over here, we have there's our x to the 5th, that's our 2. So it goes through 2, and then it keeps going on up. And there's our other asymptote, x equals 5. So notice this is contained in between 0 and 2. So maxes and mins, over here on the left, you have a local minimum of 0, right? At negative 1.5, our y value is 0. That's a local min because it goes down and comes back up. Over here, we don't have a max or a min because it's coming from negative infinity and going to positive infinity. So there's no local max or min between 0 and 5. And there's no local max either on this side, only a local min. At negative 1.5 comes 0.